It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie and Kelley. That Business Show gives a voice to Tampa Bay's entrepreneurial community and highlights our community leaders, aiming to inspire and educate our listeners. Become a part of the entrepreneurial movement today by becoming a member of the Tampa Bay Business Owners and get your brand on air today. Visit TampaBayRadio.com for more information. All shows available on demand. Now, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelley.
And welcome to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelley, where business becomes show business. I hope everybody had a great weekend and is ready for the week before Christmas, as this show is wrapping up its final couple weeks here in 2016 and had a great year. This is actually week 99. Ironically enough, next week is week 100 of That Business Show. In studio, Kelley Wilson joins me in studio. Kelley, good morning to you. How are you today?
Good morning. Happy Monday, week 99.
Yes, it's just ironic enough.
Congratulations.
That the show will end on week 100 of this year and everything, going back to February of 2015. Kelley joining the show. It's been almost 2 months now, right?
It was 2 months on the 13th, right? Yeah, so we've just passed the 2-month mark.
And 2 months without smoking, too, still?
Yeah, it'll be 2 months on the 21st.
Oh, congratulations on
Thank
that
you,
as well.
yeah.
She came to the show as a smoker and no longer as a smoker, so we congratulate her on that.
I feel like I have another person attached to me with some of the weight that I've gained, but that's okay. We're running and we're taking care of that. No, I feel great. I can breathe. So.
You spent a day at Jingle Ball this weekend. How was that this weekend?
I did. I took my 16-year-old and a friend of hers, and we went to Jingle Ball on Saturday. It was actually, I don't know, one of the best Jingle Balls I think I've been to. They had a great lineup, and I enjoyed it very much. I would try to talk to you about some of the artists, but I don't actually know their names.
Yeah, I looked over the lineup.
That's when you know you're getting older, too. But
yeah,
no,
it wasn't my scene either.
It was a great time. There was a DJ that was there. That was probably one of my favorite acts, and I don't even know the DJ's name, but I've heard him. You know the songs, you just don't actually know what they're called.
You like the electronic dance music scene?
No,
EDM
not
scenes?
typically. No, it's just. But
I've actually started to like that over the last few years. As a matter of
I'm
fact,
getting too old for that anymore.
I almost went to Ultra this past year, but a few things got in the way. But I don't know if
I
almost went to Ultra this past.
Ultra, I have no idea what that is.
Huge music festival in Miami. It overtakes like the entire downtown scene of Miami. It's like hundreds of thousands of people are there, so it's just a big dance party.
Exciting.
So. But
actually,
I didn't go. I wanted to go though. But
Pitbull was there. He was great. He was the final act, and he's always amazing. Fifth Harmony was there, and I do know them, and they were pretty good. And the Chainsmokers were like the opening act. They were really good. Everybody
Did they play
else,
that
I
stupid
don't know.
selfie song? Let me take a selfie.
How does it go? Sing it for us.
I'm not going to sing that song. That song's so irritating, but that's what they're known for.
The only thing I know is something about the backseat of my Rover with a roommate in Boulder. I don't know, something along those lines.
Some cheesy line that is catchy.
Yeah, I like it, but that it was a great time. The girls had a great time, so yeah, it was good. So, what about you? Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, pretty much. Spent it just doing some business planning, but uneventful otherwise for myself. So, getting ready for the New
Christmas,
Year, which is right around the corner. You know I'm not a Christmas person.
Oh, well, we're going to have to turn you into one. We've got 5 days to do it, I think.
I'm terrible when it comes to Christmas. People that know me well know that. So, but no.
I hope you called your mother back the other day. Did you call your mother back? Are they coming into town?
No, I got to go up there sometime, but no, I did not. I don't think I called her back, no.
Okay, well, that's another work in progress over the week.
Yeah, but I'm a terrible kid in that sense in keeping up with the parents in terms of communication. But I'm on the radio. They can listen to me anytime they want.
That's why I figured I'd put you on the spot and say, did you call your mother back?
Hey, Mom, sorry I didn't call you back. So. Let's go ahead and bring on our guest for this segment. We have Kelley Parris, Executive Director for the Children's Board of Hillsborough County. You can learn more about this at childrensboard.org. So, Kelley, welcome into the morning discussion today.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, first off, just tell us, what the Children's Board is.
The Children's Board is a special taxing district. We're 30 years old, and we were birthed from some concerned citizens in Hillsborough County that was worried about support systems for children and families. So we are funded by property tax, and we put about $30 million back into Hillsborough County on an annual basis to make sure that children are healthy, they're in safe and stable families, they're developmentally on track, and they're ready to learn.
Okay, so this is one of the non-ad valorem taxes that we see on the tax bill each year?
Exactly.
Okay, what's it under there? Just curious. Parris? What's it say on
It
there?
just says a children's board.
Children's Board.
Yes.
Okay, so this is 30-year-old special taxing district designed to help children of what age?
Most of them are birth to 14 years old.
Okay, and is it anything related to children? Is it academic related? Is it
We don't
issues?
fund anything directly that's related to the school system, but we do fund supports for the school system. So we're really an agency that funds services that support children and families. It's prevention mainly, primary, secondary, and tertiary prevention services that keep children and families out of the larger systems of care. So the services are open to all children and all families, but we do developmental screenings that are mobile all across the county. We do a lot of tutoring services. We have an ASO that supports anyone that's in the system of case management across Hillsborough County.
Okay, can you give us an example of some of the things like this past year that you have funded that we may have heard about in the news?
Yeah, we fund mobile swim lessons. We look at a lot of data. We do town halls, so we regionally look at where our dollars should go, hearing straight from the citizens, and then we look at the data across Hillsborough County. And we were looking at child deaths, and children in Hillsborough County are mainly under the age of 3 are dying from 3 things, and that is unsafe sleep, which is co-sleeping or
Where
sleeping.
the parent rolls over on the child?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And we've seen an uptick in that. We had it lowered a little bit. We've seen an increase in that. So co-sleeping is a problem. So children should always be on their back on a hard surface and in some sort of bed. Without soft bedding, bumpers, and all that around them. And then drowning is number 2 in Hillsborough County. So, and
Is that just because of all the pools that are unsecured in people's backyards?
it's pools, it's open water, of course, and it's retention ponds, all of those things. And we have created a funding for mobile swim lessons. And we also have special needs swim coaches on that team. So children with autism are a particular concern of mine and have been for a long time. So we go and take swim lessons out to the apartment complexes.
Is there a certain age group of children that are kind of used for this study, or how many, as far as with like the rolling, the co-sleeping, or even the drowning statistics?
Well, when you look at child deaths in Hillsborough County, the 0 to 3 is really the age group that is the most at risk.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, the mobile swim lessons, so that's funded now by Hillsborough County. Can any parent apply for this? How does that work?
Well,
there?
it's funded through the Children's Board of Hillsborough County, and we contract with providers for that, the YMCA, BSAC out in Brandon, and they go out to apartment complexes that are willing to have the swim lessons and, city pools or community pools and give swim lessons there. But, our goal is we're not going to see 0 drownings in Hillsborough County just because in the Tampa Bay area just because of the open water. But, we want to reduce the risk as much as possible. And we have seen those deaths go down quite a bit. So we hope
That's
that
good.
every child knows how to swim.
Okay, so parents could reach out to the YMCA and inquire about mobile swim lessons. It's not something that I was aware of either we
Yes.
had here, or even as a kid. I can remember taking swim lessons, but you had to go to the YMCA to do them.
Exactly. But, of course, this is cost prohibitive for some, but it's so important if you're going to have a party around a pool to watch kids at all time. But hiring a lifeguard for that point in time so that parents don't have to take the responsibility of eyes on the child all the time. And I would also give a shout out to the Tampa Bay Rays because they are really into swim lessons also for kids.
Now, is this program unique to Hillsborough County in our area? You said it's a special taxing district for Hillsborough County, but do surrounding counties and areas have something similar to this?
I don't think so. I think we're pretty unique in that sense. I know Dallas, Texas has a big program, but I think we're unique around the area for that.
Now, I've talked to a lot of people in the educational system here in Hillsborough County, and I'm surprised that some of the stats they gave me with regard to poverty in the area and the homelessness with the children in the area. Is that something also the Children's Board is involved in?
We do. We heavily fund metropolitan ministries, but also through our ASO, which is a flexible pot of funding, that you have to be in case management services to access. But a lot of those funds these past 2 years have gone to keep children out of homelessness situations. So it's the near homeless, the home insecure children and families that supports. But there are almost 7,000 kids, unduplicated numbers, that were homeless this past year in Hillsborough County. That's a huge number. You don't see them as much as you would think. 7,000 is a large number, but when you talk about children and families that couch surf,
Does that mean are they with their parents and homeless, or are these children alone and homeless?
well, it depends on the age. There are a lot of people living out of cars. There are a lot of people living in insecure situations that go from couch to couch, relative to relative, friend to friend. So it's really the age group.
Oh,
Now
I didn't
you-
realize the numbers were that high.
Yeah.
Now, you serve basically nonprofits, and your money is funded by the taxpayers, and then you turn around and give this to, I guess, nonprofits, correct?
Correct.
And you have 4 funding platforms that all the funding is based upon. Can you kind of elaborate on this for us?
Yes, and that's really dollar amounts and outcomes. We track all the agencies we fund for outcomes and evaluations. So our funding platforms are totally dependent on the dollar amount, and there are 4 levels, but there's also match funding, which we fund the Homeless Coalition for match dollars, and we fund the Early Learning Coalition for match dollars. So the Early Learning Coalition, we fund $1 million in match, which actually is matched with federal dollars and comes back as $18 million to Hillsborough County. So those match and leverage dollars are very important to putting funding back into Hillsborough County.
How do people then, or how do nonprofits keep aware of the funding opportunities? How do they apply for these grants?
We'll release about $10 million this year and then more next year. Our Leading and Uniting grants are up for funding this year, which is a maximum of $75,000 in one pot, and then about $500 in the other pot. But we announce it through media, newspapers, and it's also on our website.
And the website is childrensboard.org. Currently talking again to Kelley Parris, Executive Director for the Children's Board. Again, stay tuned. We've got a little bit more with her when we come back from the break on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelley, where business becomes show business.
What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you. Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today, or visit BillMeyerHam.com. That's BillMeyerHam.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again. Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews, and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews, and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Crash on northbound I-75 north of Fowler Avenue, now off on the right-hand shoulder. No delays through this area. Seeing delays, though, on westbound I-4 from the Plant City area over towards McIntosh, and southbound 275 between Fletcher Avenue and Sly. Had a minor crash in the Pinellas Park area on westbound 54th Avenue North, just west of 34th Street in the right-hand lane. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Udor. Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance. If you're involved in youth or high school sports, you need to know about Positive Coaching Alliance. PCA is a national nonprofit organization developing better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. For more information, visit positivecoach.org.
Today, hot and muggy with near record highs of 83. Tonight, mostly clear, low 67. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, not as warm with a high 78.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelley on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelley.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelley, where business becomes show business. Talking to Kelley Parris, Executive Director for the Children's Board in Hillsborough County. Learn more about this at childrensboard.org. And Kelley, you're having a business plan competition. Talk to this for us.
Yes, we've had a business plan competition since 2006, and it's really a social enterprise adventure. And I say adventure because some great things have come out of it. So every year we release a notification that we're going to have a business plan competition. First prize, $25,000. Second, $15,000. And the individuals interested make application. Then they go through a process where they develop a business plan, which includes a marketing plan, a return on investment, all of the things that would go into a successful business. And then they present to a panel of judges, and out of that comes the award winners. And I don't know if you're familiar with Inside the Box that started at Metropolitan Ministries. They're catering and restaurant.
They have a location downtown.
Right. I think they have 3 now.
Do they?
Actually. And very successful. But they started through our business plan competition.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really neat. So our business plan winners this past year were Gems, which is a nonprofit, and they're going to do a candle making business. And actually they're going to have country clubs and hotels. They're going to supply their candles for them, like that are on their tables, or decorative candles, and then they'll take them back, recycle them, and deliver them again. So that's really neat. And Echo, which is another nonprofit from Hillsborough County, and they are doing jewelry and recycled purses, handbags. So it's been very successful.
So the business plan competition, the businesses don't necessarily have to relate to the children in some capacity?
It has to be a social enterprise.
Social enterprise. So how is candles? I'm trying to draw the connection.
Well, they take at-risk youth, and put them to work. So it
Okay,
teaches
so they're-
character education, it teaches work ethic,
Okay, I understand.
it teaches
There's a-
budgeting. Yeah.
I thought it was like just like the candle shop at the store where you go in and buy candles, but the children then or at-risk youth are the ones supplying the labor and getting
And they're
the work ethic.
nonprofit, so any money raised is going to these charities or their cause.
Exactly. And Inside the Box, which I was speaking of earlier, that was birthed out of Metropolitan Ministries. And so they have a commercial kitchen on site, and then they do culinary classes. So these are the individuals that go into the restaurants and work. And
this is done each year through the Children's Board?
It's been done since 2006.
When does the next one come around?
It's very unique. I think May the applications come out, and then around September. So it's a long process, and it's you have to be a dedicated business person to go through it.
Yeah, I worked alongside the Center for Women in 2014 and helped design their Women's Business Center there, and we did classes and had a curriculum, and we used Inside the Box for their lunches.
Yes.
So whenever we were going to cater anything, we would go or actually they would deliver. I'm not sure how we did it now, and there's these unique boxes of a sandwich and chips, and it was a great concept.
Right. And I see
it's good.
I see on your site you got a place where RFPs are put, requests for proposals,
right.
And so people out there in the community related to that have businesses related to assisting children in development. Please keep an eye on childrensboard.org for these RFPs. One of which is the business plan competition. Now let's talk a little bit about the importance of early childhood education. We had Dr. Steve Noble in here last week with the Early Learning Coalition of Hillsborough County. You mentioned them a little bit ago, but just talk to us about the need for the community to support early learning education.
Well, from birth, the first 1,000 days of a child's life is so important. The brain development during that time is a very rapid brain development. So you need that nurturing from the parent or caregiver, and also the stimulation that promotes development. But the Children's Board puts about $10 million a year into the early learning or the learning system to make sure children are ready to enter school. So we are concerned about the entire early learning system across Hillsborough County. And Dr. Noble, we're awfully glad to have him in Hillsborough County. They're mostly school readiness in VPK, and we look forward to a long partnership with them. But the Children's Board has opened up training for the entire early learning system across Hillsborough County to make sure that we increase the quality in that system, because we're true believers that every child deserves a high quality early learning experience, and then that will in turn make our entire school system high quality, and truly believing that we can't have a world-class learning system until we have a world-class early learning system. So that's what we're really dedicated to, and we want to make sure that these early learning professionals are connected to the school system. So we have a plan for that, and we have a 5-year dedicated funding stream for that.
And by 2020, Hillsborough County will be one of the best places to raise children. What are we going to see briefly? We've got about a minute left.
We're going to see the decrease in child death from unsafe sleep and drowning. We're going to see revitalization of the early learning system, so we make sure that every child has an opportunity and an equal opportunity, and that's really what we're dedicated to doing.
All right, well, good discussion on this early Monday morning. Kelley Parris, Executive Director for the Children's Board of Hillsborough County, thank you so much for being in studio today.
Thank you.
And again, learn more about them at childrensboard.org, and keep an eye out for that business plan competition. They have a section on the site related to RFPs, requests for proposals, so stay tuned to that at childrensboard.org. Learn more about this program at tampabayradio.com, and if you'd like to come onto the program, please visit tbsinterview.com. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelley, where business becomes show business.
I feel guilty that I can't always be there when Mom feels stuck at home. She was always there for us. But now she can't get out, and I'm not always available to take her places. Someone else needs to help her get around. Then I learned about Home Instead. Now Mom can do what she enjoys because her personal caregiver is there, and I can just be a daughter again.
Are you struggling to care for your loved one? We can help. Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
City area over to past McIntosh. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Centrum Silver. Centrum Silver, now verified non-GMO and gluten-free, expertly blended multivitamins with a whole spectrum of daily nutrients to support your heart, brain, eyes, and all the most important parts of you. Visit Centrum.com to learn more.
1250 winds, weather center forecast, expecting some scattered showers today, rain chance at 40%, low 80s for the high, and it looks like more clouds than sunshine, upper 60s for the low, 80 tomorrow, chance of rain down, 10% chance by Wednesday, a little cooler, upper 70s. Impact Radio, 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelley on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelley.
And welcome to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelley, where business becomes show business. Learn more about us over at TampaBayRadio.com. If you'd like to come onto the program, please visit TBSinterview.com. This show works to inspire entrepreneurship and community organizations, as we hear from different leaders and entrepreneurs each and every morning here on the program. And we'd like to hear your story as well. So again, TBSinterview.com to request an appearance, or visit TampaBayRadio.com to get a better feel for the program. Our next guest on the program, Stephanie Costello, Editor-in-Chief of Resident Magazine, and you can learn more about this at that website, residentmagazine.net, and a returning guest to the program. So Stephanie, welcome into the program today.
Hi, thanks for having me. Thank
so,
you.
So give us an overview first on what Resident Magazine is.
Sure. Resident Magazine is a lifestyle magazine. It's focused on the Wesley Chapel, New Tampa markets. And so what that means is lifestyle. All right. So we go out and I interview one feature interview each month, whether it's a big developer in the community, somebody who's bringing in new businesses or building something interesting, or an everyday person. So our December cover was actually my son's football coach. This guy, his name is Coach Matthew Terry. He's 23 years old. It was his first year coaching. And he just did such a phenomenal job with the kids, and was all positive reinforcement. And you get out there on the fields and these 5 to 7 year old boys, and some of these coaches don't use positive reinforcement. Some of them are like getting after these boys and like angry and really focused on the score. And so this coach, Matt Terry, he was the opposite of that. And
no, I grew up playing baseball, and I had some coaches that were pretty brutal.
Yeah, they almost feel like that's going to make them tougher men.
But I had a lot of good coaches, including my father. But I had some ones that were pretty rough, so I know where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, so it was my son's first year playing football, and he was very timid at the beginning of the year, very kind of afraid and unsure, and wasn't really wanting to get out there and play. And this coach just kind of took him in and really helped him blossom, as well as the other kids on the team. And I thought, this is somebody that doesn't typically get recognition, that it's important to recognize, not only to show other coaches that this style is effective and parents are cool with it, but also to encourage people who do have that style of coaching or that way with children to step up into those roles. So,
what position did your son find this year?
He was shoot, now I'm forgetting the name. It's like
I don't know
the
these
offensive
positions.
lineman.
Offensive lineman.
Yeah, and he's
okay.
a little dude, but he really liked. Eventually, when he was
Well, if
confident,
he's going to stay there, he's going to get big.
yeah, he really liked running into the other guys. That was it for him.
Very cool. Very
Give
cool.
him the ball to run though, and we're in trouble.
You published a magazine. Is it a monthly publication?
Yeah, so we come out in the first week of every month. We go out to about 40,000 homes in Wesley Chapel, New Tampa. And we also have people that write in for real estate, for local finance experts. We have a business expert. He is the Entrepreneurship Center Coordinator at Polytechnic, Florida Polytechnic University. It's a mouthful. And just different people that write in and contribute that's useful for the residents.
And availability and distribution, how do people pick up Resident Magazine?
Yep, so it hits most of the mailboxes, but other than that we have about 60 distribution points around town. Big ones are Culver's and Dickey's Barbecue. We're in like all of the automotive shops and tire change places, a lot of the doctor's offices, banks. People find it everywhere.
Now, you have the January issue right around the corner, and you said you interviewed somebody, a survivor of human trafficking, and you said it really moved you, and you wanted to discuss that. So talk to us about this story that's going to be featured in the January issue.
Yeah, so I have been getting involved in anti-human trafficking efforts for a few months now. It's just something that kind of pulls at me. I think because I see it as an underdog of issues, where it's this huge issue, but not a lot of people pay attention to it because it's depressing, it's uncomfortable, and we don't like to recognize.
A lot of people don't understand it because they think, well, why can't they just leave? Why can't they just say, hey, this person's holding me? They don't understand that.
There's a lot of misconceptions about it, yeah. So I really wanted to bring it to the forefront and just have conversations about it. And I was fortunate enough to interview a local human trafficking survivor. Her name is Krista Hernandez, and she just started, well, not just started, but she recently started a nonprofit, Loving You Where You're At. So she came and spoke to us, and her story, it was just, incredible. And I'll never ever complain about my life again. It's kind of like a typical story for this area where she's born into a family, and her parent, there's abuse, right from the start. Her parents divorced when she was very young, and she ends up with her siblings staying with her father. And the abuse continues, like all types of abuse, and a lot of mind control and a lot of really crazy things that I don't think anybody would think are happening, to a child.
And so was the father the one that put her into the human trafficking?
No, although that is something that happens.
No, yes, it does.
Yeah, he encouraged her to get into the strip club industry when she got older. And
the father did?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, and so basically she said, I remember when he took me shopping for clothes, she was going to be a bartender at a strip club, and he's telling her the skimpier the better. That's what's going to get you tips and,
And then she got picked up in the sex trafficking industry, I assume, because that's usually the path it takes with females and stuff. So she was trapped inside the sex trafficking industry by probably a pimp or a trafficker or whatever you want to call them and everything. How long was she trapped in the industry?
Yeah, so she was in it well over 20 years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How did she break free of the grip?
Well, okay. So it started in a strip club, and it's all this mind control thing. So when people say, why don't they just leave? Well, it's not that simple, and it doesn't look like you might think. It doesn't look like a girl chained to the bed where she's physically trapped. It's more of they get them hooked on drugs. And so...
Yeah, they create dependence.
They create dependence on them.
Well,
they keep all their IDs.
Yeah, and even when you hear about unfortunate when children are kidnapped, and then over, they're kept by these people that have taken them, and then but then you wonder, like, over the years sometimes they've stayed, and then they'll escape or something will happen where they'll be discovered in some way. People will say, why didn't they just leave? But it's conditioning, and I assume it's the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Drugs are a huge component, but then it's also mind control, and it's also this boss or manager, what we would call a pimp or a trafficker, they call it their boss or their manager, controls all of their money, controls all their phone calls. They aren't allowed to speak to people. Sometimes they'll brand them with a tattaoo. And,
I was just going to say, I heard recently on the news there was some kind of bust that happened, and like 150 people were arrested or something, and they were talking about the girls being branded in some way. And I don't know, it seems like something that wouldn't happen here so close to home. But
right, I know, but it is. I mean, Florida is, by most accounts, number 3 in the nation for human trafficking.
And why is that?
Because it's dependent on tourism, because typically where a lot of tourists come in is when the most business takes place, and agriculture. So trafficking can be sex trafficking, which is the most common, but labor trafficking also. So agriculture businesses that pull in people and force them to work slave labor, basically. And Florida has a lot of tourism and agriculture, so it pulls them in.
How did she find the courage to escape, or was it just a fortunate series of occurrences that led to it, or how did it all resolve?
Yeah, so she was living this double life, essentially, being trafficked and essentially prostituting on one side, and then she had kids on the other side. So she was at her son's baseball game, and another one of the moms there had invited her to church. And so in order to save face and kind of look like the other moms there, she decided to go to church. And she said the second she walked in, something grabbed hold of her and really pulled her in. And, she started getting really into church and the gospel and God and things like that. And it was a 2-year process, though, before she actually got out of the industry. So, she was going to church and reading the Bible and being part of that, but also at night going out and doing this because that's the only thing she knew and that's the only job experience she had. And so there was a suicide attempt in the midst of that because of this double life she was leading. And eventually she got the courage and just was done with it.
Were you aware of the extent of the problem before you had spoken with her for Resident Magazine?
Yeah, I've been becoming aware over the last several months. I've been getting involved in the anti-trafficking.
It's quite a broad
commission.
problem. Yeah, we've had
really
the discussion a couple of times on the program with people that are very involved in preventing the trafficking in the area. How are you getting involved now, and how can others get involved to help you right now?
Yeah, so there's a few different nonprofits that are available. Hers is Loving You Where You're At. They always need volunteers and financing. They actually go into the strip clubs and they don't minister to the girls there. They don't throw the Bible in their face, but they give them gifts and just tell them, listen, we're here if you ever need to talk to somebody. There are safe houses around Bridging Freedom. There's another one, Redefining Refuge and things like that people can volunteer for. Mental health therapists are always needed, beds. So, they need somewhere to put these girls once they get them. I'm getting involved with speaking and doing awareness events to just start the conversations and go around and just talk to people and increase the conversations about it.
So you're a young lady still here. How did you fall into entrepreneurism and have a successful magazine already? Tell us about how you got involved with this.
Yeah, so I'm a single mom. I have 3 little kids, and I was doing the corporate thing a couple years ago, and it just wasn't working financially. It wasn't working with paying for daycare because my kids were all daycare age at the time, and paying for the bills, and it wasn't going to work. And I tried that for several months, and eventually hit a breaking point. I'm like, I need to figure something else out. So I was kind of forced into entrepreneurship, kind of had to be resourceful and figure out a different way that was going to work for me and my family. So I ended up going back to school. I just finished my master's at USF in entrepreneurship and applied technologies. And
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited. I just did the graduation last weekend.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
No, that's great. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And during that time, I was learning a lot about business and really fell in love with business and startups and the mindset that entrepreneurs have and the way that they creatively solve problems and are resourceful. And I started writing for Resident Magazine for the previous owner. And I did that for about 6 months until she had to suddenly move out of town, a few hours away for her personal reasons and to get into some projects. And so the opportunity was there to take over the magazine. And we talked about it, and I ended up acquiring it and taking it over in June. So it's been about 6 months now. And so it's one of those things that kind of fell in my lap, but then also I had been preparing for it unbeknownst to me, just taking steps and educating myself and
Now, do you contribute as a writer primarily, or do you have a lot of contributing writers? How does it come together?
Yeah, so I do have a lot of contributing writers. People from the community, they write in on their topic of expertise. And then for the feature, I have people that I outsource it to most of the time. Sometimes I take it if it's personal to me. Last month with the coach, I wrote that, and I'm writing the human trafficking article with the help of one of my writers, Randy Freemuth. So I try to outsource it, but sometimes I get caught up in it.
Did you acquire the staff and everything else that came along with the publication? So kind of everything was already set, or did you have to rehire or hire new people, or? restructure in any way?
We had to do a bit of restructuring, yeah, because really it was just the owner, it was me as a writer, and then the photographer, and then some of the contributing writers. So yeah, I guess I did get a package deal, and then I brought on since then 2 sales reps and more writers, and I changed the printing company.
Yeah, so you're it had to adjust where it needed to be. So how are the salespeople that you have now? How are they working out, and how are they beneficial for the organization?
Yeah, it's really great. I tried doing it all myself initially, as I think many entrepreneurs do in startups, and I quickly found that it wasn't going to work that way because there's not enough time, at least for me, to go out and sell and follow up on leads
Plus you
and
have
take
3
care
kids.
of them. Yeah, plus I have 3 kids, and also put together content and layout of a magazine. So for me, getting sales reps was the primary focus, and it's excellent. They go out and they make sales, and they're commission only.
Do you find that people work well on commission only?
You know, I've gone through a couple of different reps to get to where I am, and I'm actually looking to bring on at least one. So I think it depends on the person, and I'm learning how to hire right and find the right people.
It's time-consuming training and really taking these people under your wings. I know with my publication, that's probably been my biggest challenge is salespeople and all the time that you put into training and caring, and really getting to know these individuals, and then unfortunately it not working out. But trial and error.
Currently talking to Stephanie Koslow, editor-in-chief of Resident Magazine, a magazine focusing on the Wesley Chapel community. And again, learn more at residentmagazine.net. Stay tuned. Coming back from the break, we're going to talk about the Light Up the Night event coming up at Wiregrass with Stephanie on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelley, where business becomes show business.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit billmeyerham.com. That's billmeyerham.com. Have a conversation.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Crash in Pasco County on eastbound Ridge Road, just east of Little Road, and at least one lane is blocked here. Delays on the southbound side of McMullen Booth approaching the Bayside Bridge. Crash on the bridge in the left-hand lane just as you come on from Gulf to Bay and McMullen Booth. And a bit of a delay on the westbound I-4 between Plant City and McIntosh. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick. Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Lead Safe America. More than 1 in 3 American kids has lead in their blood. No level of lead is safe. Lead poisoning causes learning disabilities and behavioral disorders. Has your child been tested? Learn more at leadsafeamerica.org.
Today, hot and muggy with near record highs of 83. Tonight, mostly clear, low 67. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, not as warm with a high 78.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelley on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here are your hosts, Jamie and Kelley.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelley, where business becomes show business. Talking to Stephanie Koslow, editor-in-chief of Resident Magazine, a magazine focusing on the Wesley Chapel community, and learn more at residentmagazine.net. And Stephanie, an event coming around the corner, the Light Up the Night event at Wiregrass. Talk to us.
Yes, so the Light Up a Night event is a human trafficking awareness event. It's on Saturday, January 14th. It is at Wiregrass Mall on the top of the parking garage. Before that event is a Radiant 5K. It starts at 4 o'clock. And that's going to be held at the Pasco Hernando State College Porter campus. So definitely get out there and do the 5K. If you register before December 31st, it's $35. It's $40 at the door, and you get a T-shirt. So that's always good. And then everybody goes over to the parking garage at the shops at Wiregrass, and for the Light Up the Night. And they're going to have all sorts of things there. There's going to be a car show there. There's going to be a kid zone with bounce houses. There's going to be a vigil with, like, you can't have real candles, but everybody puts a candlelight on their cell phone and holds it up there.
Right? It's amazing when they do that. At the concert this past weekend, they were like, get the cell phones and the flashlights out, and it lit up the whole stadium. That's just amazing.
I've actually never seen that done, so I'm pretty excited about that part. Yeah.
No, you wouldn't think they were so bright and would light up so much.
Yeah, they did that.
These cell phones.
Yeah, they did that at Shinedown, as a matter of fact, too. It lit up the entire stadium.
It's crazy how you just wouldn't think it would do that. But anyway, so what date is that on?
Yeah, it's on Saturday, January 14th.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's also going to be speakers, survivors from human trafficking, and then Shayla Fearing, which was a singer on The Voice, is going to be singing there. So it's going to be a concert, whole bunch of stuff going on there. It's going to be a great event to raise awareness and funds for human trafficking in support of a few different
organizations. And again, that human
organizations.
trafficking story is one of the central stories to your magazine that's coming out in January. How did you decide to feature the lady who's being featured in January? Did it just come about as a matter-of-fact conversation and you realized the impact the story had? How did that come about?
Well, it's actually a challenge. I wanted to feature somebody who had been through it, and I wanted their face on the magazine because I feel like that speaks to people more when they can look into the eyes on a photograph and then hear somebody's story that is just so different than their own life. So I definitely wanted a survivor. Yet finding a survivor that is both public and it's safe for them to talk about this sort of thing is a challenge. So I really was limited in my options. I had to find somebody who was already out talking about it. So somebody who was already public, who already was
Sharing
out
their
speaking.
story.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just asked a few different people that are involved in anti-trafficking, and a couple names came back to me. So I reached out to Krista, and she was more than happy to be part of it.
Talk to us about her life today. Obviously, post trafficking. What became of the people that were enslaving her, and what's become of her life today?
Yeah, so I actually don't know what became of the people that were trafficking her. But
A lot of times that stuff they just disappear.
Yeah,
they're probably still there, unfortunately.
Probably, yeah. It's a huge challenge to find these people. But as far as her, she's drug free. I think it's 6 years now. She's been clean and sober. She's been out of that life, the industry, for just over 6 years. She has 2 kids, and I know her daughter and her granddaughter live with her now. And she's started this nonprofit, Loving You Where You're At. So I think she's active in her church, and she's going out there into the strip clubs and reaching out to these women that are still in the life, and doing what she can to raise awareness and bring people
pull them
home.
out. Yeah.
It's really awesome.
Story.
How do you choose who to feature then in the coming magazines? Is it just matter-of-fact conversations? You decide month to month? How does it come together each month in the magazine business?
Yeah, it's kind of month to month. It's kind of like who do I come across, or they reach out to me sometimes. So I bumped into, actually the day I was interviewing her, I'm going to say his name wrong, but it's a former baseball player, Orestes Destrade. Did I say that wrong?
I'm not sure. I think I know the name. I think I know what you're trying to say, but I'm not positive.
He's an announcer now for the Rays on Fox. So I bumped into him in the parking lot, and I think he's going to be our February cover. So,
Well, looking back through the year, and since you've taken on the new endeavor with the magazine, how has your life changed over the last year? Or looking into 2017, how are you feeling about the year that's closing and the one that's before us?
I feel really excited and really honored, honestly. My favorite part of doing the magazine is to be able to allow people to share their stories and the people that I get to meet through it. So that's definitely something I feel really honored to have the ability to do. And then moving forward, there's a lot of stuff in the works, possibly an app and growing the magazine and growing in different ways through the print media. And I'm really excited about it. I feel like I'm stepping into my own finally.
Good. Congratulations. Any plans on extending or expanding outside of Wesley Chapel?
So we wouldn't expand Resident Magazine because it's hyper-localized, and I think that's part of the appeal. But as far as starting new ones in different markets or taking over ones that exist in other markets, definitely.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Stephanie Koslow, Editor-in-Chief of Resident Magazine. Good discussion. Thank you so much for what you're doing for our community.
Thank you.
And again, learn more at residentmagazine.net. If you'd like to come onto this program, visit tbsinterview.com, and please connect with us all across social media. The Twitter handle is now at ThatBizShow, and we also have a YouTube channel where all the high-definition videos are uploaded by the hour. Simply head over to youtube.com/Jamie Maloney and connect with us on Facebook at facebook.com/ThatBusinessShow. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelley, where business becomes show business.
The preceding was a commercial program paid for by Maloney Productions.